Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM theory grades. We're making great progress through grade 3. If you go to my website, if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find lots of resources there to help you. You'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. Everything that you need to know can be found within these documents. There's also a page which links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. If it is that you're working towards taking your exam, I've written a book, How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam, and it's got lots of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam, how to best use your revision time, and also how to best make use of the time when you're actually sitting in the exam room taking your paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, it's all there for you. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab. Subscribe to my channel and keep updated. There's loads more in store. I hope that you're enjoying this as much as I am. So let's crack on, and we're continuing with the subject of intervals. So if you turn with me to page 31, and we'll just have another little go at this last part of exercise 1. If you turn in your document, in your PDF document, and turn to J, just find that, we're getting quite a way back into the sheet. There we go, so section J, all about intervals, and so there's a little bit of condensed information there, just to explain to you all the things that I'm saying as we go along. And of course, do refer back to the page 30 where we're given this little condensed example of major and minor intervals, and also the perfect intervals of fourth, fifth and octaves. I also suggest that you write yourself a little sketch of a piano keyboard so you can definitely see how intervals are made smaller by becoming major, especially when we come to these tricky keys when it's perhaps difficult to think in F sharp major minor keys. And so it's easier sometimes to just think, is it in F major, and then we rearrange the intervals adding the sharps as we go along to see if it's been made bigger or smaller. So let's continue to put that in practice. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. You'll internalise the knowledge much more fully that way. And so I'm just going to sketch out another quick piano keyboard. In your exam you will get a piece of scrap paper. Give yourself a good octave, and I always suggest that you make really good use of that scrap paper with little diagrams like this, whatever it takes to help you. That's one of the tips I give in my How to Take Your Music Theory exam. Write the letter names in. Do whatever you can just to take the thinking down to its easiest level. There we go. Okay. And so first of all, let's just count the intervals. So we'll crack on with this first example. And we've got a 1, 3, 5, 7th. We're in G minor here with a key signature of B flats and E flats. Now G major would have F sharps. So if this was to be a major interval, G to F sharp would be part of the major scale. That would be a major interval. We've gone from F sharp, which is not present, to F natural. That's the note we've been given. It's been made smaller and it's part of the minor scale, not the major scale, and so we know that it's a minor 7th. Let's have a look here. So now we've got the key signature for B minor, which is F sharps and C sharps. Let's first of all get the number. That's the easy bit. 1, 3, 5, 6. And so B minor has a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. B major, if you're not sure of your key signatures, if you're not quite flexible moving around with those just yet, if you haven't quite got round to looking at the circle of fifths, do check that video out. It's in the cards or the description below. That will help you to remember your key signatures. But we know that B flat major is even more sharps. Sorry, B major is even more sharps. We've come off this now, and so we know that this has to be part of the major scale, because although we've not got the key signature there, B minor would have G naturals. We've made that G natural bigger to a sharp. So although we've not covered that key signature of B major, we know it's a major interval because it's been made bigger by extending it by a semitone. It's not part of the minor scale. B minor's only got F sharps and C sharps. We've made this interval bigger by raising it, so we know that it's a major. Let's have a look here. So 1, 3, 5, it's a fifth. We're in D major, but that's kind of irrelevant because we know major or minor, it's a perfect interval. Fourths, fifths and octaves, if you remember. So here, this looks like it could be a tricky one because we're dealing in the key of F sharp minor, which is a tricky key to think, are we in major or minor? But we've got 1, 3, 5, so we know it's going to be a perfect fifth. So actually not much thinking to be done there. We're in the key of C major, which has got no sharps or flats. We've got 1, 3, 5, seventh. And that's part of the major scale, and so we know that's not been changed. It's still part of the major scale, so we know that's a major seventh. So if you want to crack on and have a go at this next row, and then we'll carry on together to check those. So let's first of all get the number 1, 3, 5, 7. That's a seventh. Now E minor has a key signature of F sharps. We've got here E to D. Now if we're in the key of E major has D sharps. That D sharp is not present, it's a D natural. D sharp is not present, it's a D natural, it's been made smaller and it's part of the minor scale, so we know that that's a minor interval. Let's carry on. So we've got a 1, 3, 4th, and we know that's perfect straight away because it's common to both. Here we've got a 1, 3, 5, that's a fifth, and again we know it's a perfect interval because 4, 5 and octaves are perfect. Okay, cracking on, let's move on. 1, 3, that's a third. Now E major has a key signature of F, C, G, D sharps. Here we've got an F sharp for the minor scale, but this is a G natural. It's not a G sharp, part of the major scale. It's a G natural, which is part of the minor scale. The interval's been made smaller by a semitone. We know that's a minor third. F to G, 1, 2, it's a second. And F to G is part of the major scale, which just has B flats in it. F major is a major second. So all of those are mixtures of harmonic and melodic intervals. The principle remains the same. So this is a melodic interval because they come one after each other. So this next set in exercise 2, it's exactly the same. It's just that we're now dealing with melodic intervals in the context of an actual melody rather than just a prescribed example. So this is now actual music. For example, this is written by Handel, and we're just describing the intervals that he wrote in his melody. So we're just doing the same thing again. So let's carry on with these. So if you want to have a look, we've got a key signature of F sharps here, so we need to bear that in mind. It isn't telling us what key we're in now, but in a sense that's irrelevant. So long as we bear in mind the key signature, we're always counting from the lowest note to the highest note, lowest note to the highest note, and then we decide whether it's major or minor after that. So if you want to have a go at these, you can either try the whole page and then we'll work through them together, or you can try them an exercise at a time and then keep re-accessing into the video. So I'm hoping that you've had a go of these yourself. And so first of all, we can just deal with the number 1, 3, 5. From the lowest to highest is a fifth, and we know that's going to be a perfect fifth. So that's easy enough. Now we're going 1, 3, 5, 6. So we've just got to think a little bit here. So our lowest note in the treble clef is G. So we're going from G to E. G major has F sharps, so that E natural is part of the major scale, and so we know that's a major interval. So that's a major sixth. Okay, so this next one, so we've got a key signature of B flat that we need to bear in mind. Our lowest note is D. In actual fact, in this first example, we're in G major. Here we're in D minor, but you really don't need to even worry about that. You just deal with it as you come along to each one. So we've got a 1, 2, 3. We've got a third. Our lowest note is D. We've got from D to F. Now D major would have a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. That F sharp isn't present. And so we've gone from F sharp to F natural. We've made the interval smaller. That's part of the minor scale, so that's a minor third. Let's carry on. We've got 1, 3, 4, and we know that's a perfect fourth. So that's job done. Let's carry on then. So, a bit of Vivaldi now. Let's see what's going on here. 1, 3, 5, 6. We've got a key signature of F, C, G, D. Now here our lowest note is C sharp to A, and this is another one of those where it's very tricky to think from C sharp to A. So let's just first of all think from C to A. C major has no sharps or flats, so C to A would be a major interval. But the fact that we're going from C sharp to A, because the bottom note has been sharpened, we've actually made the interval smaller. So we're actually on a minor sixth. Let's carry on. 1, 3, 4. So we know that's a perfect fourth. There we go then. Job done. Oh, there's another one at the end sneaked in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Even though the lowest note comes afterwards, we still count from there. So we know it's a something third. And again, we're in this tricky key where we're counting from C sharp. We're actually in C sharp minor, which is related to E major, if you remember. And so let's just think about this again as if we were counting from C first of all. So C to E. C major would have no sharps or flats, so that would be a major third, but we're actually counting from C sharp, so because the bottom note has been raised, it's made the interval smaller. Can you see how that gap between the notes has now become smaller, and so we're actually in a minor third, and that's because it's part of the minor scale pattern. Okay, next one, last examples here. So first of all, let's just get the number, and then that's half the job done. 1, 3, 5, 6. So again, we've got this tricky concept of counting from F sharp to D. So let's think about it from F to D first of all. So F to D would be a major 6 because F major has B flats, so that's not affected. So it would be a major 6, but because it's from F sharp to D, we've actually made that interval smaller by raising the lower note, and so we know it's a minor interval because it's smaller. Let's have a look at this one. 1, 3, 4, and we know that's a perfect because it's a fourth, so that's easy done. Okay. Here, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, we've gone from F sharp to F sharp, so we know that's a perfect octave or eighth. And here, the last one, 1, 3, 5, is a perfect fifth. So it's quite a gift when you get one of those questions, isn't it? There we go. So I do know that's a tricky subject. If you feel like you need another crack at that, then by all means do go through it again. You can always rub out your answers and test yourself again. I hope that's been helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. Please do subscribe to my channel, there's loads more to come, and then you'll stay updated. And do go to sharonbill.com, there's lots there to help you, so make use of those resources available to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.